What's up, everybody? I had to refilm some of this because your girl had a day yesterday. Today, we're going to talk about hunting and feminine energy when you're hunting. I think hunting helped me feel good about myself after kids. And I didn't feel like myself. I didn't look like myself. I didn't enjoy the way I looked or how I felt after kids, right? My husband got me into hunting, specifically whitetail and waterfowl hunting. And honestly, thank God for that, because going out and being able to put food on the table for my family gave me a new sense, which I needed, a new sense of independent momhood. There is no hood, and I've seen a lot of hoods. There is no hood like motherhood, all right? Eat you up and spit you out. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I actively have a guilt of, I'm not providing for my family. My husband works his ass off. I don't do anything. I don't even clean and stay organized, keep the house organized like I want to. So what the fuck is the point of me being a stay-at-home mom? I'm worthless, right? That thought goes through every stay-at-home mom's head. And my husband does his best to reassure me that, no, that's not it, blah, blah, blah. But it is what it is. That's life. And especially after I had my first son, my hormones screwed up everything. As they always do. My hair wasn't the same, my skin wasn't the same. I didn't have, also my cycle was messed up, so that really screws with you, and and I went through postpartum depression and all that stuff. And I felt like the 6th grade version of Carly, not knowing what to do with her hair, makeup, and everything in between. What to wear, what looks good on you, what feels good on you, what to do to feel good. I had no idea. And so with the new body comes new rules. Postpartum, I felt gross. But my biggest pet peeve is when somebody complains about something and then does nothing to change it. And I sat down one day and I was like, I am a living pet peeve. I am an absolute living pet peeve. So I got my ass up and I did something about it. I got a new job. I started coaching at a new school with one of my best friends who is one of my biggest hype men. And I got new friends because I had to cut a lot of people off after I had kids because the toxic energy they were just bringing into my life, family and friends, I had to cut off. And I'm so glad I did because I'm such a better person for it, and hopefully they're better people for it too. But I had to do different shit if I wanted to feel good in a different life that I have created. So I started going to the gym. I don't really see a difference yet, but I feel a difference. And to be honest, that's more important anyway. So started doing that, started eating better. I stopped binge eating carbs. I'd go into carb manic episodes and eat 50 pounds of pasta. Although sometimes I do indulge. And, all this shit. So, because postpartum depression's real, and you don't realize it until you're already in the deep end with it, and which kind of stinks. I battled depression my whole entire life, and I didn't even know what was going on until my therapist was like, I think you got some postpartum depression, Carl. So, it is what it is. It's all, you can work through it all. Luckily, with postpartum depression, all it is your hormones playing tricks on you. It's making your brain play tricks on you, and all the above. There's always a way out, no matter what. No matter what kind of depression you're going through, to be honest. But anyway, so how did hunting help for me? Hunting was more of an outlet. Like I said, it felt good knowing I'm doing something for my family other than organizing the spice drawer for the 12th time this week. You know what I'm saying? I liked going out hunting with my husband. It was, when you have kids, especially we had 2 kids within 2 years, so that's a lot of attention taken away from my husband and I's relationship, which we always put our relationship before the kids, because it goes us, our relationship, our marriage, then the kids. Because if we're not good with each other, how are we going to be good for them? And I might catch some heat for that, but I'm a fire sign, so bring it, bitch. And I think that's important. You know, in the woods with my husband, he's teaching me always, which is great because I started hunting 5 years ago and he's been hunting his whole life. And he's very big on gun safety, which makes me feel comfortable and safe. I'm out hunting, and so is he, for all the right reasons. You know, it's not really, I mean, does everybody like getting a buck? Yeah, absolutely. I'd be lying saying that that's not a fantastic feeling. And, you know, I know everyone that's friends with me has seen every picture I've probably taken of my bucks. So I'm proud of it. I don't give a shit. When we wake up and we get dressed to go hunting, the thought running through our brains is, ooh, I hope I get a lot of meat to put in the freezer. And anything that comes after that is just that. It's after that. But being in the woods, especially like opening day, we usually do a sit for whitetail. And I love being in the woods by myself, like a day like today, chilly but sunny, little sun, little cloud action too. I feel like I am the head bitch in charge when I am just in the woods in general, especially hunting. And you know, when that first doe pops out or that first sign of action, I feel like I got my shit together. I feel like I can consistently do not have my shit together. So in that moment, I'm like, the positive feeling of my old self is coming back. When I got my first doe, my husband was so excited for me. I was excited. I was proud of myself though, because yeah, someone can teach you the stuff that you know, but it's you that has to, you know, act on all the stuff you're learning and, you know, pay attention and be a sponge and take it all in. The people that we hunt with, they're friends, but they're family. I learned from all of them tremendously. Our best friend's father, like, he's like the freaking Phil Robertson of Meads Creek Road up here, man. He's just amazing, right? And the way that he hunts is old school, and my husband still learns from him. Our best friend still learns from him. You learn, and he's probably still learning from other people. You know, you learn every time you go out in the woods, and that's what's important. You have to be a sponge. If not, then you'll probably not get anything. Hunting helped me feel like a woman again. You know, getting that first doe, dressing her, taking her home, quartering her, putting her in the freezer, and then having my kids get full on her. It's a good feeling. Also, I love snack sticks. Those are good too. I don't know. There's something about hunting that just makes you feel like, don't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? You know what sucks about it though, especially with women in hunting, is there's not really a space for us. We have to make it. And I guess that's kind of like everything in this world, but like for me, I put makeup on and do my hair when I go hunting. Not every time, but you know, the one time I actually made the effort to feel good and look good and then go out, I got my buck last year. So I'll be doing it every year this year, or every time this year. And I think it's incredibly important to feel good no matter what you're doing. You know, feel good, look good. I played sports my whole entire life, and I don't care how dumb it sounds, but I will stand by that saying till the day I die. Look good, feel good, go out on the field and do work. It's a natural feeling for humans. You know, if you like the way you're looking, you're liking the way you're feeling, and you're going to go out and you're going to hopefully do well in anything that you do. And with hunting, that's the same for me. I'm not head to toe dressed in Sitka. I honestly wear Walmart shit. Is Sitka worth the money? Yeah. If we're gonna spend that kind of money on Sitka, I'd want to get the use of it, and I don't feel like I'm there yet. So I feel like I haven't earned it yet. My husband's been hunting his whole entire life. He enjoys waterfowl more than he enjoys most things. He has a whole Sitka thing, you know, a whole ensemble that he wears. And does he look good? Yes, he does. But, you know, he also hunts all the time, and he enjoys it. It's his thing, you know. I'm that bitch that looks up for waterfowl, like cool patterns on your face with the brown, black, and green and all that. I love that shit. I love it. I was the same way in lacrosse with eye black and stuff. I love it. And hunting for me, especially after having kids, got me doing something new, which is incredibly important. You know, you got a new life, a new body, you got to try new shit. I think if it wasn't also for hunting and going out hunting, obviously, is a lot of, you know, you need some athleticism in your body to be able to do it in the first place most of the time. And especially like doing deer drives and stuff like we do. And I think that also helped in the factor of getting my butt to the gym. I don't like the way I look 100% of the time. Nobody does. And I've been bullied most of my childhood life for my weight and the way I looked and stuff. Even though I've always had this gorgeous face. But I think my first and second year of hunting was rough. I was extremely tired, winded, not in shape I wasn't even in shape to walk to the mailbox, let's put it that way. But, you know, going to the gym, I'm doing all the pros and cons in my head because, you know, that's just what you do when you start something like, you know, a fitness journey and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? If I go to the gym and I walk 3 miles on the treadmill every day, Monday through Friday, I bet you I can walk up that hill this year. Or I bet you I can do this deer drive. Or when I could probably bring the stand farther to a better spot. Or whatever the case may be. But I think that also helped me want to get in shape more. Especially because now I have 2 kids that are going to probably want to hunt. And I want to be able to feel comfortable because I'll be more in shape and healthier to take them into the woods because I'll be able to walk and talk at the same time and teach them shit. And if they want to say, Mom, let's go to the top of this hill and go on up there. I seen a big buck or a big doe up there and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to sit there and be the mom and make an excuse because I don't want to get winded walking up the hill because I'm not going to be able to do it. I want to be able to be like, all right, get your boots on, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Hunting helped me with my mental health a lot. One, being outside just helps anyone with anything. So there's that. But also it gives lifelong memories that sometimes you won't be able to get. Like, for instance, we lost my father-in-law about 3.5 weeks ago. I didn't grow up with, like, a hands-on grandfather. My one grandfather passed away when I was in, I think I was, like, 6th grade, maybe a little older. And then my other grandfather lived all the way in California, so I barely got to see him, right? I didn't have, I guess, strong relationships with any of my grandpas. So that kind of stunk my whole entire life. Luckily, I had, both my grandmas lived very close to me. My one grandma I was best friends with until she passed I think it was 2016 she passed away. And I didn't have any other strong grandparent figures in my life, and I think those are incredibly important. And when I met my husband and then met his parents, and then obviously when I met his parents, I was already pregnant. So it was kind of like, hey, grandpa, hey, grandma, you know what I'm saying? And his dad was a tough guy. He was tough. He grew up tough. He had to be tough. So when you first meet him, you don't think lovey-dovey. But once we had our kids, everything changed. He was the teddy bear grandpa. He was grandpa. And my kids got something that I didn't have, They had a very close relationship with their grandfather, seeing him all the time. Even though SJ, my oldest, is only 3, he learned a lot and will grow up knowing that he learned a lot from his grandpa. And when it came to hunting, I learned a lot from him. Last year, he got a new tripod stand, didn't even hunt in it yet, and we were going to do a deer drive at their property. And he said, Carly, you sit in the tripod stand. I said, Grandpa, you haven't even hunted out of it yet. I don't want to get something in your tripod stand that you haven't gotten anything out of it yet. He's like, no, it's fine, whatever. We'll drive this way to y'all and we'll see what happens. So I'm in the tripod stand. The thing was nice. I was loving life. And I only had 3 bullets in my gun and a doe pops out. I shoot, I miss. I shoot again, I get her. She's down. And I'm like, all right, sweet. That's meat in the freezer. And I hear my father-in-law hooting and hollering. So I'm like, all right, they're getting kind of close. A buck pops out. Buck pops out. And he stops about 70 yards from me in a thicket. And I couldn't see how big his antlers were, but I knew that they were there. And all I said was, oh shit. I'm shaking. I'm like Luke Bryan in the stand, like, oh my God, I hope I hit him. I take a deep breath through the buck fever, and he turns, runs the opposite direction. I thought he ran, there was a creek on the other side of him about 50 yards, and then on the other side of the creek is all state land. So I'm like, all right, he turned, he's gone. My father-in-law, my husband, they were the drivers. They're in the field at this point, and they were like, oh, cool, you got a doe, awesome, but you took 3 shots. I said, I missed one, got her on the second, and then I shot at a buck, but I saw him run. He's gone. My husband and his father being, diligent with hunting and gun safety and everything else. Let's check. Where was he standing when you shot? I told them. I'm still sitting in the stand. My father-in-law was closest. He goes over and checks on the other side of the thicket. And all you hear is, he's down! And I'm like, no, he likes to fuck with me. I ain't falling for it this time, all right? Don't make me shit my pants in your new stand, all right? So, and Steven goes over, because my husband also knows that he sometimes fucks with me. And he goes over, he goes, no, honey, you got him! You got him! And I'm like, oh, shit, he's down. And I'm like, Luke Bryan in that one video, that was me. And I go over, and my father-in-law gives me a hug, and he says, good job, he's fucking huge. And I'm like, are you mad? And he goes, why would I be mad? I said, because I told you I didn't want to go on the tripod stand because you haven't hit anything from your stand yet. And I said I didn't want to go on it in case I hit something and you didn't get it. And he's like, you're not going to be hungry for the next couple weeks. Neither are us, and neither are your kids. Why would I be mad? And that's what it's about. I remember my first year, second year hunting. I was too out of shape to get to a spot when we were deer driving with a group of buddies. And one of my husband's buddies got to that spot. I was pissed because I wanted to be there, right? And mind you, I was 27, 20, maybe 25, 26 at this age. So I was old enough to not be a bitch, right? This kid ends up getting a buck in the spot that I wanted to be at. I was a bitch. I was such a bitch. Still embarrassed by this day, but whatever. You live and you learn. And I was just like, oh, nice. I'm a bitch right now. And you know what? That's not what it's about. I wish my husband pulled my gun and said, why don't you just go home? Because that's not what it's about. And did that motivate me to go to the gym and maybe, be able to get to that spot or a different spot in, whatever case? Yes. But hunting is not about who gets the bigger buck, who gets the bigger deer. You need to be happy for anyone getting deer around you. And that kid ended up being able to show that buck to a family member who then passed away too. And it meant a lot more to him than it would have to me in that moment. And that's why everything happens for a reason. God's got a plan for everybody. And I think God was keeping me from getting anything so I could have this memory with my father-in-law last year. And because my father-in-law ended up passing away. And everything happens for a reason. And it happens for a reason to teach you things. My lesson was to be grateful and to be thankful for not only myself, but everybody around me. And that's important. And I don't think a lot of that is taught within hunting these days. And I will be damn sure, and so will my husband, to teach that to our kids. Everybody needs a humbling moment. I've had a bunch. I'll have a lot more. Especially for women in hunting, we don't get an easy trail to follow. We don't get an easy avenue to go down within hunting and everything else. So I think it's incredibly important to stay humble in the woods, but also to love yourself in and out of the woods. As a woman, life sucks sometimes, and when after you have kids, you have to battle a lot of demons, including your hormones being one of them, to get back to where you're happy. But it's not really getting back to where you're happy. It's what new road you're creating to get to a better version of happiness that you need. Hunting's done that for me. A lot of things have done that for me, but hunting has been a big factor. It's taught me a bunch. It's humbled me a bunch. It's made me grateful for a bunch, and that's what's important. You can do anything. And if anyone comes at me for ever wearing makeup or doing my hair in the woods, I'm just going to show them a picture of my kids and my husband eating a roast at the table that I made in the crock pot. If you have any brands of hunting clothes that you wear, and you are a woman, that make you feel good and look good and everything in between, please send me a link. Please. This is better with age. Hopefully, some hunting brands for women get better with age too, but take lessons how they come. Be grateful for every opportunity.